Hello. Let me know how you guys are doing today. We will get started soon. Big Nikki is here. Hello. I feel like we have a couple of things to talk about. I can't remember when the last time I was live. I want to say maybe Thursday would make sense. But if you guys have any things you want to talk about or questions, go ahead and put them in chat. I was able to watch their last couple, ordered it for me, so that was really awesome. Hi, Tide. Hi, Tide. Greetings from the Jersey Shore. Hello. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Nate and Paige. I'm going to need a drink because my mouth is so dry, it feels like. Nope. I just got on here, Valerie, so you did make it in time. I'm happy to see you. Hello. But yeah, if you guys have been watching their lives, let me know if you have any thoughts or questions or things you want to talk about. I did go through the Reddit. I went through the Discord and wrote down a couple of things. But the main thing today that I want to share with you guys, you may have heard me in the past mention that I'm working on like a master list or a master post of evidence. And I decided to release a portion of that a couple of days ago over on the Reddit. And what the portion is links to all the evidence that we have about missing orders, disgruntled customers, bad business practices, those sorts of things. And that's pinned over on the Reddit. And I believe it came out to, I want to say 14 pages. I was actually going to get the Reddit up right now. One sec. But yeah, so that's exciting. And I am working on, like I said, like a master document where everything is in one place. So the grooming accusations, the GoFundMe accusations, the missing orders, all of that all in one place. Hey, Bear. And that is the Reddit's r/Nathaniel Page piece. Thank you. Yeah, there are a couple of things also from my old TikTok account that I was able to like get screenshots of or dig up because I used to have an account on here prior to this account. It was called Nathaniel Page Peace Lies. And that account consisted mostly of just people missing their orders or things like that. And I lost that account, and with that, I lost all the evidence. But I did find that I re-uploaded a couple of the videos over on the Reddit, thankfully. So I got some of those screenshots. I have links to the Reddit, links to people making their own posts saying, hey, I was the customer. What's going on? Is she okay? There's a lot going on. She says she's totally fine. She says she's willing to be in that RV, but this is a grooming situation. Hey, Trash Panda. All right. So let me see here. But yeah, as people are coming in, I do just want to mention that master list is pinned over on the Reddit. I still haven't gotten it up. Hold on. Just so I know how to properly direct you guys. Excuse me. So if you guys go over to the Reddit, it's r/Nathaniel Page Peace. It's just their username. If you type it in, it should pop up. If you go to community highlights under it, I pinned the post. It's titled Master List, Missing Orders, Unsatisfied Customers, and More. It's 16 pages long. And it's full of evidence, like I said, missing orders, disgruntled customers, bad business practices. There's also a couple of things in there about like the stones and how we allege that they are, cheap quality. So go over to the Reddit and see that. That's so scary. I never knew these details. Yes. So usually, like, when I come on live, I'll just put up, like, a random photo of either the both of them or just of Nate. And a lot of people kind of come in here and ask the same question. So I thought maybe instead of repeating myself, I could just put, I don't know, notes up there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. He did get with Paige when she was 16 and he was in his late 30s. This was confirmed by, if you guys have, like, any questions about the evidence about any of these points, you can go over to the Reddit or just ask me directly. But he got with Paige when she was 16, and I hear a police siren in the background, so this is very fitting. It's confirmed by both of her parents and her older sister, among other things. I would just say go check the Reddit, go check my profile. Yes, thank you. It is Nathaniel Page Peace. Hey, Marie, how are ya? Yeah, something has been weird. So lately the main things, you guys, has been they didn't get their TikTok live payout, and they're very upset about that. To my knowledge, they still didn't get that payout. They're being a little bit quiet, I would say, about why. They just said their account got reported for fraud. In my head, it could be two different things. But there's that. They're trying to sell those clothes. They're trying to tell you guys they're not making a profit off of those. Simultaneously, though, saying that they need to get orders for them to make money. So I don't know how that makes sense. Okay, let me scroll up. Where they have been lately. I don't know, because like I said, they didn't get their TikTok payments. You would think they would probably get on this weekend, but they didn't. They did get on last weekend, though, I believe. Marie says, I'm good. Hope you are well. I am. Thank you. I think she is scared to leave him. Who knows? She does say that she's willing to be there. I think somebody in that situation, it's going to take them wanting to leave, but that usually takes a couple of tries, and that usually takes quite a while for them to understand the situation that they are in when it's a grooming situation. But also, he tries to say that I doctor information a lot. I kind of sound like a broken record at this point, but I do just want to say, if you guys want to see evidence for yourselves that they were dating when she was under 18, he does have an account here on TikTok that I guess he forgot the password to, or otherwise he can't get it taken down. The username is Nate Main 904-617-19. And actually, the background of today's live stream, it's a screenshot from one of the videos he has up. I think one of the most recent ones of him and Paige, and she is underage in that picture. Otherwise, you can go find her old Instagram account. I thought it was taken down, but it's not. It's Lizzie373739. And once again, if you scroll back through her photos, you can see that there's an account, Nate Pullen Forever, who has liked her photos when she was underage. So I do just want to put that out there. Why is his son living with him? We don't know. They haven't been very forthcoming about that, I don't believe. I'm not sure what their situation was or is. But I did just put up a recent video that I thought was interesting from their most recent live streams, where they're still taking orders. So Josh is trying to take orders from their audience for wire wraps and tie-dyes, right? They're still directing customers to pay them through Nate and Paige's links. And Josh even says in both of the clips that I stitched together, he says, hey, I do have my PAL, I do have my own CA, but yeah, go and send it over to their links. And I'm just like, why? Why does there have to be a middleman? These people are willing to send Josh his money directly. So I don't know why it has to go through Nate and Paige's links. It doesn't make sense to me. Let me go up. Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so I just put GFM. Thank you guys in the chat. So I'll just briefly say that situation because, I don't know, I think it needs to be talked about. In 2022, there was a man. His name was Ronnie L. Whitner, Whittener. You can plug his name into Facebook, but he passed away in 2022. And I guess Nate had befriended him. But Ronnie was really well loved in his community, so when he passed away, it was a shock to a lot of people. Nate made a GoFundMe, hopefully I can say that, and said, hey, donate to this. It's going towards laying him to rest. All of the proceeds go towards his family. And that wasn't the case. Nate pocketed it. And Nate's FB account is Spread Love, so I believe if you plug in Spread Love with Ronnie Whitner, you can find these posts. Or if you just plug in his name, Nathaniel Poulin, Poulin, with Ronnie Whitner, you can find it. But Ronnie's niece came out, made a Facebook post that's still out. Her name is Shauna Crawford. And she said they did not receive that money. She had to make a police report against him and had to try to get it shut down. Okay, if you want to find it yourselves, so there's two ways you can look at the information. If you don't want to find it yourselves, it is over on the Reddit, Nathaniel Page Piece. Type in Ronnie into the search bar and you'll find the screen recordings or screenshots. If you want to find it for yourself, go to FB. I don't think I can say the platform. Go to FB. Type in Nate Poulin, Poulin, or Nathaniel Poulin, and then plug that in with Ronnie Whitner, Whittener. You should be able to find the GoFundMe posting or where he was posting it in public Facebook groups. And then you should be able to find a Facebook post by Shauna Crawford, that is Ronnie's niece. And she made a whole post saying, hey, this guy made a fake GFM. He pocketed the money. We made a police report. We never got the money. Excuse me. Well, like I said, you can go to Facebook and find it yourself. You don't have to, go through Reddit or, find the Reddit post. If you plug in the names, you'll find his niece saying that he pocketed the money. Her name's Shauna Crawford. Refuse to send it right to Josh. I don't understand why they can't send it right to Josh. It doesn't make sense to me. But also, you guys, I find it extremely... So here's the thing. They're telling you guys they're not making any profit off of these clothes, that they're purely charging for shipping. But at the same time, they're telling you guys we really need to make these clothing sales because TikTok ripped us off. So which is it? Do they make a percentage off of what they're selling or do they not? I think at one point Nate even said, oh yeah, we're cutting it at a loss. So it just doesn't make sense to me. But I would not trust my money. This is me personally. I would not trust giving a business on TikTok money to then go I trust them with my money to go take it to a retail store to buy, a pair of pants or overalls or whatnot and then ship it to me when, they don't even have a website. So I don't know. It is a little strange. I know a lot of their, top supporters and mods are the ones that are buying clothing from them. I think it was Nessa, Shonda, and a couple of others. So the reason why I put so much time into this is because first of all, it's spreading awareness about this situation, but we're able to spread it out to a broader topic. This man groomed the lady on the right when she was 16 and he was in his late 30s. Prior to that, he impregnated a 14-year-old. And with the thing with Paige, that's confirmed by both her parents and her sister, amongst other things. So we're talking about a grooming situation. We're talking about a scamming situation. And something I actually didn't put up on the... something I didn't put up in the background photo was that there's also animal harm allegations. Tanya, who is Paige's mom, lived with them for this past year, and she recently left to go live somewhere else. She said that she saw them both physically harm their dog and use starvation as, a discipline method, essentially. And, because I can't find it, well, why don't you DM me, and I will pin the link in the comments. Can we do that with a Reddit link? Go to Reddit. If you're wanting to find the evidence through Reddit, go to r/Nathaniel Page Piece. It's their username. There's a search bar in the top right. Click that search bar, type in Ronnie, Ronnie, hit search, and then you will find multiple posts about it with screenshots and screen recordings. Yes, you can. I just did it. There's a lot going on. If it's a rabbit hole you haven't fallen down, I would say just keep scrolling because it's not a fun rabbit hole. It's not tea or drama. It's real life shit, So the Reddit is Nathaniel Page Piece. A couple of people have put it into the comments. It's just their username. Plug it in, find the subreddit, and then on the upper right-hand corner, even if you're on mobile, I believe, but I am on browser, it's up top, hit the search bar, type in Ronnie, it's Ronnie, hit search, and then you'll find multiple posts about it. So the backstory essentially is she started dating his son, Josh, the one that's living with them now. And then she moved on to dating Nate when she was around 16. and he was in his late 30s. And it's like, I don't know, it's a whole clusterfuck, essentially. But it was confirmed by both her parents and her older sister here on TikTok. They all came forward. All right, hold on. I do have mods in here, but the thing is, I asked them to not mute or block for a reason, because I do feel comfortable addressing, if people have questions, even if it is in a negative connotation. I feel comfortable handling those, so it's okay. I understand it's a little annoying in chat, but I would just say ignore and we'll get through it. Ian Scott, that's a question me and Adam and Troy all have. Like, how did he not go to prison for this? I don't know, especially with the situation with the 14-year-old. We don't know. He did go to prison for theft by deception. And when I looked up his record, he has gone to prison for a couple of other things like drug possession. He's been charged with a couple of other things like drug possession, but nothing involving minors to my knowledge. I also don't know if a minor is involved in a case if it's sealed and not for the public, like it's not searchable by the public. I have no idea. This all went down in Maine. So if anyone can direct me, that'd be great. So if I was slandering, if I was defaming them, they would easily be able to prove it, and it would be like a slam dunk in court. The reason why that hasn't happened is because they would have to disprove every single thing that I've said, and all of it is true. He got with Paige when she was 16, and he was in his late 30s. Both her parents have come forward this past month, and if you guys missed those live streams, you can find it on YouTube. You can also find it on Thinning Out Nonsense's channel. He has 2 on here, 2 on TikTok. I think it's, I can't remember which account it is. I think it's Tired of Nonsense. Tired_of_nonsense. But he chopped it up into 3 different videos here on TikTok. Or if you want to find it on YouTube, Nathaniel Page Peace. Her dad came forward and said, yes, this did happen. They did get together when she was 16. Hey, Hannah. Well, of course I care that a child was groomed by an adult. Multiple children, actually. Of course I care about that. Yeah, she dated his son first. It would be alarming if he didn't. And by the way, you guys, I do support age gap relationships. The issue is if a child is involved. I don't support a child getting in a romantic relationship with an adult. And I don't think that's a controversial opinion. But you guys can let me know. Okay, let me scroll up. 1 second. Oh, God. Hold on. Was she with her parents when they got together? That's still a little fuzzy. I believe she was living with her mom. And by the way, I do recommend you guys do listen to those live streams, because we did pose questions like, why wasn't there more parental involvement? Why wasn't the law involved? And it's better if you hear it from their mouths than mine. But essentially, I think both the parents were not in a good place to handle that situation. The mom has come out and said, hey, I had an addiction at the time. The dad said that he wanted to handle it himself and that he didn't want the police involved, but that if he could go back in time, he would have got the police involved. It's a whole thing. But we did pose those questions. I don't know, Rachel. I don't know. She says she's genuinely happy. She is an adult now, but she wasn't when they got together. I think, like, the important thing to do now, and this is, like, a question I made sure to ask Tanya. I made sure to ask Preston. Those are her parents. Like, if Paige at any time wanted to get out of that situation, would she be able to contact you, and would you provide her the resources to get out of the situation if she wanted to? And both of them said yes, and Margaret said yes as well. And I know for a fact that some of her moderators would offer her resources to get out of the situation if she wanted to. So that's all I can really say about that, I guess. How old are they now? For some reason, they both have their ages off by a year. I don't know why that is. So I believe in their bio, he says he's 43 and she says she's 23. but that's incorrect. She was born in 2003. She is 22, and he is 44, about to turn 45 this year. So, like I said, I don't know why the ages are fudged a little bit. But again, in those live streams with the parents and the older sister, they did confirm her age. And there is an article, actually, this is a good segue. There is an article that somebody had posted confirming her age, because there was like a article about her when she was in elementary school planting a tree. She said it was creepy that we dug that up and that we posted it as evidence, but it's like when you're calling us liars or that we're doctoring information and we have an article proving that we were correct and that your age is, you were born in 2003, it's like, of course we're going to post that. Okay, hold on. 44 and 22, thank you. It doesn't seem like she was underage. What do you mean, 16? 15 to 16? I have no idea. Well, he has 8 kids. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to add to the background. He has 8 kids, multiple baby moms, which isn't inherently wrong. However, he allegedly does not pay child support or does not support his kids. Josh does live with him now, but Tanya has come out and said that, well, actually, so it was Tanya and somebody else that DM'd me. I can't disclose the information or their personal information because they didn't give me the permission to, but they said that Josh and Nate do have a rocky history. Oh, God, hold on. Yes, he had twins with a 14-year-old. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Nate pretty much dictates the time that they get on, the time that they leave, and get back on in the evening. Oftentimes, Nate will be like, I'm hungry, let's get off of here, which means that Paige is going to go cook him a meal. And then it used to be that would be it for the day. They would usually just stay off TikTok. For some reason now, they have been getting back on in the evenings to do TikTok live battles, though that has been halted because they didn't get their TikTok live payout. Yeah, 14. So the Josh thing is crazy to me because they're doing the same thing to him that they did with Paige's mom, which was, all the orders pay through our own links, and then we'll give, Josh, we'll give Tanya the money, and then something behind the scenes is going down. So if you guys don't know, again, it is on YouTube, Nathaniel Paige Piece, the live with Tanya, Paige's mom. It was from about a month ago, but she said that when she would do her crochet business, more often than not, they would have people send the payments through their own links. Tanya was being financially controlled. She was given their old TikTok account, the same one that Josh has now, that he got from Nate. She was given a cell phone. All of her accounts were made and monitored by Nate and Paige, or like hooked up to their email or something like that. They were in control of her financially. And I believe that same thing is happening to Josh, allegedly. I do think it's going to end badly. I just posted a video recently of 2 clips stitched together where Nate is like directing customers to pay Josh through their own link tree, Nate and Paige's link tree. And I posed the question in that video, but why must there be a middleman? Why these people are saying, hey, I want to send Josh the money directly for these items, and they're saying, no, go through our links. And then Josh is like, yeah, go through their links. But why does there have to be a middleman? It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, exactly. We've watched them long enough to see what's going to happen. And it is a pattern. With Tanya, they said, we're going to raise money, send us donations, give us orders so that they can get a motorhome. It's the same exact thing they're saying for Josh and Chloe. And I do see the same patterns. You guys know how we've talked a lot about how I believe, some others believe, that Nate has control over Paige when it comes to battles. He's constantly asking her, are there orders? Tanya has said that he makes recommendations for how she should appear on live. Those sorts of things. I see that same pattern between Josh and Chloe. And I've yet to make a video. I actually wanted to make that video today, but I felt that the payment thing was a little bit more important. But I've taken a screenshot and some screen recordings of a couple of things. Like recently, Josh was asking Paige, can you teach Chloe how to sell on live? And then when Chloe was on live about a week ago, he went under his TikTok account into the chat and said, start talking. like, it seems like, oh, sorry, someone says who's Josh and Chloe. Josh and Chloe, so Josh is Nate's son, and Chloe is the wife of Josh, and they also have their 6-month-old in the RV. Did you see when Josh got upset, they said the wrong place when they got stuff from? Yes. I think I might have posted that. Is that about the tie-dye? He was saying that he had this tie-dye hoodie that he did off camera, supposedly. I know they washed it out, but no color came out. And that they were selling it. I'm pretty sure I pinpointed we pinpointed on the Reddit where that came from. And they're trying to say that Josh handmade it, but it looks exactly the same as the one on the website, which I believe it was like True Love Hippie store, something similar. Hello. Paige said it came from somewhere different, and then he snapped at Chloe. Yeah, I did see that. I think I posted that. Yeah, talking about the dress. That is over on the Reddit. I remember. Yes, Chloe is with Josh. Hey, Kayla. How are ya? Thank you. Loveworks Hippie Store. I do believe that's where they got that sweatshirt from. You guys can look at the colors and line it up. If I remember right, I actually have it written down. I think it was $48 or $49 on the store, and he was saying, oh, I usually sell these for $80. We're doing at a discount for $75. And he said he made it. He himself made it. I don't believe that's possible. Could it be handmade? Yeah, sure. But I think that they bought it off of somebody else. And also in that video, you guys, that I posted, if you make it towards the end, a month ago when we had that interview with Tanya, that 3-hour interview, she said, unprompted, I saw them buy tie-dyes from off the street, claim that they make them, and then sell them for double to their TikTok audience. Which is why, like, all of this always comes back to Nate. Because she was saying in that clip, that's what Nate does. And I think that Nate is influencing the same behaviors in Josh. The deceptive behaviors, and just saying, oh, it's how a business does its, this is how business works. You just rip people off. Anyways, let me go. Hey, yeah, 75 to 80 is crazy. Yes, exactly. And again, you guys can find the video with all that evidence a couple of videos back. Hey, Sloth. Let's see. Brandon, that's a good question. I don't know. Was she talking about the dress? But he thought, yeah, I did see that. The GoFundMe, I talked about it a little bit earlier. It's easier if you just go to the Reddit and search up Ronnie. The Reddit is Nathaniel Page Peace, but if you search up Ronnie, Ronnie, you'll see the post about the GoFundMe. In 2022, Nate made a fake GoFundMe for somebody named Ronnie Whitner, Whittener, on Facebook under his account, which was Spread Love. That was his name, Spread Love. And he said all these... So Ronnie had passed. He was a very beloved member of his community from what I saw. And he made this GoFundMe and said, hey, if you donate to it, all the proceeds are going to go to the family to lay Ronnie to rest. And that never happened. He pocketed the money. Ronnie's niece, whose name is Shauna Crawford, you can find the post on Facebook, I believe, if you type in Shauna Crawford, Nathaniel Pullen. She said, hey, he pocketed the money and we never got anything. And here's the real GoFundMe link. So that's the thing with the GoFundMe. Yeah, I know. It's funny. Yeah. I have the link. Is it the link to the GoFundMe? Did they block you? Is that why you can't watch the lives? Hi, Emma. Yeah, Paige did admit that she doesn't like children. In fact, I think she mentioned she used to be a babysitter and that she lost her cool one time. Oh, can you post it in here? I don't know. Try to post it in here if you can, if you don't mind. Yeah, I don't know what Josh meant by that, because isn't the dress that she was wearing, that wasn't tie-dye, was it? That was just like a normal cloth, like stitched together dress, right? So are they going to start making regular clothing? I don't know. Oh, it's not clickable? Are people able to copy and paste it? Sorry, did I say aunt? I meant niece, the niece of Ronnie. Her name was Shauna Crawford, and Ronnie's name was Ronnie L. Whitner. Yeah, I did see the dress. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Paige had a story. This would have been from like months ago, where she said that she had a babysitting gig and that she didn't want kids because one time she like lost her cool because the kid was crying too much. Does anyone else remember that, or am I just, I don't know, cracked out? But she has reiterated a couple of times that she doesn't want kids. She doesn't like being around kids. I think these past 2 weeks, somebody on the Reddit uploaded a clip of her being like, being around this kid is birth control, which is crazy to say in the vicinity of the mom. Are you asking for the niece? It's Shauna, so I think, well, hold on. Can I find it? 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I know the last name is Crawford, but if you're searching for Ronnie Whitner, Ronniel, and then Whittener. Okay, 1 second. Let me try to... Oh, God, it's going to send a text to my phone, so I can't. Damn. She said it several times about losing her cool. Okay, gotcha. Yes, I do think that's how you spell it. Thank you, Valerie. Paige also said she would never... Oh, God. Really? She said that? Oh, thank you. Somebody posted it. So I think if you guys copy that and paste it, it should send you there. Otherwise, if you search his name, Nathaniel Poland, with Shauna Crawford, you should be able to find it. I can't get into my Facebook because it sends a 2-factor to my phone. And I'm using my phone for a live. Okay, so Nate's Facebook account is Spread Love. Two words. Ronnie Whitner is Ronnie's name. And then Shauna Crawford is the niece's name. But Trash Panda did pin it. You should be able to copy and paste that. Well, we're talking about the GoFundMe thing right now. And I think it is important to talk about it. I know it's like it can get buried with all these other things. But like, I do think it's just such a messed up thing that happened, which is why I talk about it a couple of times in my live, just to spread awareness about it. Because it's like, if you find Ronnie's Facebook profile and you go through his posts, people are still to this day posting to his wall and being like, I miss you, you spread the word of God, you helped me love Jesus, like all of these wonderful things. And the dude passed away years ago at this point. So I do think it's something important that we should talk about, even if the other things kind of bury it a little bit. Yeah, Spread Hope is Nate's, but it's shown to be, it's almost acted as if it's Paige's account. It's weird. But if you go into, like, the comments on some of the posts, you'll see it's Nate. It's really strange. Which actually, excuse me, I'm trying to, like, drink water like a, I don't know, something. Other thing I wanted to talk about, I truly don't think that Paige has, like, a sense of individuality or independence. And the reason why I said this is there was a clip on the Reddit that I watched right before I hopped on this live stream, where she said that if you like me and you don't like Nate, that's not possible because we are one, and all of these other things, pretty much saying that they are the same person. And it's just like, I get wanting to mesh with your partner, but you still need to have a sense of being your own person, your own individual. You need to have some sort of independence. And it just shows you what a grooming situation does. I don't know if I'm rambling too much on this, and I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. But, and then, like, the other thing, right, she's afraid to go to the wedding because she has to spend 2 days apart from Nate. And it's just, like, this is what happens when you get groomed into this type of dependent situation. It's very, like, I think it's very suffocating, but it doesn't have to be. And she doesn't have to be in that situation. Thank you. Yeah, he creeps me out as well. She is 22. She tries to say she's 23. He got with her when she was 16. GoFundMe, thank you. Yeah, that's the other thing. Thank you, Kayla. He has access to all of her accounts. Their Facebook account, they share. You'll see they constantly are swapping phones. I don't think she truly and like, he says that he manages her credit card payments and everything. Like, I truly wonder, does she have anything that's just for herself? I don't know. One sec, I have a thing on Discord. Oh, got it. Yeah, I hope the background's a little bit better. I put a black box over the username so that you can see comments a little bit easier. So I care because he got with her when she was 16 and he was in his late 30s. All the information is in the background photo right there. Before that, he had kids with a 14-year-old while he was still an adult, although I don't know his exact age. So the reason why I care is this is a grooming situation. This also opens up a doorway to talk about grooming in a wider scale. He's also scamming people on TikTok right now, so it's important to share information about that and how people can prevent themselves from being scammed or financially harmed. Amongst other things, like the fake GoFundMe's up there. I didn't put this up there, but he previously had faked cancer to his partner. So I think it's just important to spread awareness about grooming, about scamming, those types of things. I don't believe he's in Washington. And them selling those clothing items is actually, I think, proof of it, because they are going to that, somebody can probably type it, the Loveworks hippie store. It is in Oregon where they've been staying. And that's where they're getting, I think, a lot of their clothes from, or at least some of their clothes. Yeah, his arrest was only 8 years ago. The GoFundMe was only 3 years ago. You can't, listen, I can't rob a bank today and then a week from now tell you guys, you know what, that was in my past, you need to forgive me and not bring up my past. Like, it doesn't work like that. You do have to answer for things that you have done in your past, especially if you're hurting other people. And I do want to bring this up. He says that he paid his restitution. If you guys go to the website, searchmain.tylerhost.net, you can make an account and look up public records, and you can look up his public arrest record. He did not pay his restitution. In fact, he had a warrant out because he didn't pay it until it was recalled February of last year. So those people never got their money back. Those single mothers that he scammed never got their money back. Yes, it is true that she was with Josh first. So she started dating his son first, and then they got together when she was around 15 to 16 with Nate, and Nate was in his late 30s. Prior to that, Nate impregnated a 14-year-old. That information is on Thinning Out Nonsense's channel. You're going to have to scroll back. I believe it's like 2022 when he was posting that. But yeah, her name starts with a K. A lot of people ask me why I care. I definitely care about young women that are being groomed, as well as young men, because it does happen the other way around. I think it is important to talk about. And the reason why I talk about this situation in particular is because I don't think there's a whole lot of continuous coverage of it and letting people know about what happened. And they do have a reasonable following. They have over, I think it's 110,000 followers. So I do think it needs to be talked about because they're broadcasting to a large audience and making it seem like this type of situation is okay. It's okay to be in an age gap relationship when it's two consenting adults. It's not okay when there's a child in a romantic age gap relationship. So that's why we're talking about it. Yes, thank you. And he does say that I doctor information. So if you guys want to check out a couple of accounts that prove that she was underage, he has an account on here. It's Nate Main 904-617-19. Bear pinned it. Thank you. There's images that he himself posted when she was underage. Actually, that's the background that I'm using is a screenshot from one of those posts. And apart from that, she also had an Instagram account that's still up. It's Lizzie373739. And if you scroll back to when she was posting when she was underage, he was liking her photos. His account on there is Nate Poulin Forever, Poulin is his last name. The page on Reddit, you could, if you just plug in their username, it's Nathaniel Page Peace. You should be able to find us. There's a couple of things pinned over on the Reddit. Actually, there's a lot of people in here, so I will say this again. You guys have heard me talk about making a master post of all of this evidence so that you don't have to go searching for it. It's all in one place. I decided to release a portion of it a little bit early. And the portion that I released is a bunch of evidence about missing orders, disgruntled customers, unsatisfied customers, bad business practices, those sorts of things. It ended up being 16 pages. So if you guys want to find, so a lot of people ask me what's the evidence for the scamming. It is pinned over on the Reddit Nathaniel Page piece. It's pinned under community highlights. The title is Master List, Missing Orders, Unsatisfied Customers, and More, 16 pages. So once you click into that document, let me just click into it myself real quick. Once you click into that document, it does start with 4, the Roman numeral 4. Don't feel like you're missing anything. Like I said, this is just a portion of a larger post right now. But once you click into that document, it's titled Missing Customer Orders and Scamming, and there you will find multiple pages of screenshots, of links, of evidence of people missing their orders, saying my order is late, saying that their jewelry cut into their skin, that their stones were misplaced. People said that they sent them money and they got screwed over. Like I said, you guys, 16 pages of this. It's pinned over on the Reddit Nathaniel Page piece. Don't miss it. I think it's very important because a lot of people do ask me about that. Okay, one second. Yes, and this is a good point to make. If you have been scammed by them or wronged by them or scammed by anyone else here on TikTok, it doesn't have to be Nate and Paige. Please make sure you are filing with your card companies, preferably within 60 to 90 days. Make sure you're reporting it to TikTok. Make sure you're reporting it to the BBB. If you're paying through Stripe or Square, make sure to do platform reports for those. It's extremely important so that it prevents other people from falling in the same scam or trap that you may have fallen into. It's extremely important. So I do want to say that if you've been screwed over by Nate and Paige or anyone else on TikTok, make sure you're reporting it, if not for your own sake, for other people's sake. Yes, well, he has a lengthy criminal history, but the thing that he's mostly known for is in 2017, he was arrested and charged with theft by deception. Essentially, he was pretending to be a landlord, and he was saying, hey, I have these empty apartment spaces, I'm going to rent them out. And he was renting them out mainly to young single mothers in the area. And then he would take deposit money or first month's rent, something similar. And then he pocketed the money because he wasn't an actual landlord. So that's what he got arrested for. He tries to tell people that he paid restitution. And as far as I know, that is untrue. If you go to searchmain.tylerhost.net, you have to make an account, but you search his name, Nathaniel Poulin, Poulin. You find his record from 2017 and you click on it. You can find the transaction history as well as the dockets. And you can see that he had a warrant out, and I still haven't made a video because I've been saving it for the season finale, right? But you see the transaction history and you can see the dockets. He had a warrant out until February of last year, so February of 2024, a warrant out for his arrest because he did not pay that restitution. That warrant was then recalled and canceled. And I don't believe it was because he did end up paying the restitution. I think that the case had gone on for such a lengthy amount of time that they ended up canceling the warrant due to the length of time or due to resources or something like that. Because once again, if you go and scroll to the bottom, you can see a transaction history, and he only paid into it $35. So there's that. Well, he says he's making a season finale. I'm saying let's do it. I can make my own season finale. And I keep saying this, but I wouldn't have found this in the first place if he hadn't have threatened me with these charges. I wouldn't have found this. I wouldn't have looked into it deeper. So it's just funny. So I'm like, I'll gatekeep this until I have to, I'll talk about it, but I'll post the evidence soon. But again, if you guys you're like, I want to see the evidence myself, search main.tylerhost.net. You do have to make an account, but all of these records are public. Yeah, he does think, the thing is he's saying he's charging me with criminal stalking. The only thing I'm doing is I'm posting or clipping live streams, public content, public records. I'm not doing any like tomfoolery, essentially. So I welcome it if he wants to have a go. There's a lot of stuff. That's the thing, right? We kind of are all the stalkers. For a long time, they were saying that, because listen, the Reddit community has grown substantially over these past couple months due to recent events. But I would say, like, late last year, a couple of months ago, we were a very small community on Reddit. And there was a time where they were telling their audience that it was one person with multiple accounts running the Reddit and running all of these TikTok accounts. And then over time, it was it's Paige's ex-boyfriend is like the ringleader. Okay, now it's Margaret, Paige's older sister. Now it's Troy. Troy's the stalker. Okay, now it's Adam. Adam's the stalker. Now I'm the stalker. It's like, I don't know. The narrative, I think, has spun out of control and has changed a little too frequently. Anyways, if you want to read about it, the best place to do it is the Reddit. Nathaniel Page Peace is their username. You just plug it in. You can find it. If you can, read up and get educated on them in a way that isn't furthering this cycle, that's the best way. So I do think going to the Reddit, searching by new, or looking at the pinned posts, or searching by the evidence filter, I think that's the best way to get in the know. The username is Nathaniel Page Peace, one word. Let's see here. You were a stalker for about a month. That's funny. Yes, the arrest is in Maine. Yep. And like most people, you can search up his name and the news articles will pop up, and that's what most people see. But I do encourage people to look at the public record instead of just the news article, because there's a lot more information looking at the dockets. What are you cooking? Thank you, Big Nikki. Nathaniel Page Peace. I have seen them a couple of times. Have all these people who got ripped off with jewelry press charges. A lot of people, I don't know about pressing charges. A couple of people have been in my DMs claiming that they have. But then, you guys do have to remember they travel constantly. And I think they travel like once a week or once every 2 weeks. So I don't really know. I don't know how it would be possible. I mean, it's definitely possible, but I think it would be a little difficult. But I do know multiple people have filed with their banks, and actually they got kicked off of Cash App, or CA, I can't say it. They got kicked off of CA, and they got kicked off of Stripe because people were filing against them for missing orders or just like being unsatisfied. Hold on. How do you know they got together when she was 16? So both of her parents actually confirmed it on a live stream, as well as her older sister, Margaret. If you guys missed that, you can still watch the live stream back. The Tanya one was 3 hours, but I swear it's worth it to listen, even if you have to like cut it up. If you go on YouTube, Nathaniel Page Peace, you should be able to find it. It's from a month ago. It's from an account, I think it's titled Sarah with the C. Or if you don't want to leave TikTok, Thinning Out Nonsense has it here. He broke it up into 3 different parts, and then another part for Preston. So both the parents confirmed it on live. Older sister as well. Apart from that, if you go on Instagram and look up the account Lizzie373739 and you scroll back, it's Paige's old account, and he was liking pictures of her when she was underage. And then also the screenshot that I'm using as the live background, he has a TikTok account up here named Nate May 904-61719. He posted pictures of her, and it's still up. You can look for yourself. When she was underage. She was born in 2003. She tries to say she's 23, but she's not. She's 22. Sorry, that's like a word salad. That's exactly. Thank you, Luna. If someone can pin that, actually. Or maybe I can. Hold on. Can I? Oh, I can. Nice. Is that why they have a 90-day turnaround time? Because you can't dispute it? Yes, I do believe that's why. And I think that's why they drag out a lot of orders past that time. Because you pretty much can't do it. You can't file with your bank and get your money back after that 90 days, usually. In some banks, you have to do it within 60 days. I do think that's why they drag out these orders so long. I don't think she's going to the wedding. She said that she didn't have anything and that she has to go for the bachelorette party next month. And they're on the West Coast, so I don't know how this is going to work. And also, from what she says, Nate is refusing to go to Maine with her. So I don't know how she's going to get there in the first place. But, excuse me, I'm drinking water like crazy. But I do hope she goes. I hope that she experiences this by herself and has, a sense of freedom and has, moments to herself. It's not like she's going into a dangerous situation. She's going to a bachelorette party with a group of people with her own family. I do hope I really hope she goes. I really hope she goes, because this could be a very good experience for her to get a taste of freedom. I don't know. I think I'm allowed to say this, but when I was talking with Margaret initially, Paige's older sister, and we were talking about Tanya and her situation, Margaret did tell me that Nate was like starting a guilt trip with Paige, saying, if you didn't come back, I'd understand. When you go to the wedding, you're just gonna leave me, like things like that. He's very controlling from what I have heard and what we have seen. And I don't know if I'm allowed to release that. I hope so. He probably doesn't want her. Yeah, exactly. She'll be in a normal environment. She'll be by herself. She'll be able to have fun by herself with her family without Nate. She has told everyone, it's not just me saying this, she has told everyone she has not spent a night away from Nate since they got together. They got together when she was 16 and she's 22 now. I get, being glued to your partner. Of course you want to be around your partner 24/7, but there are times that you need to separate and be your own person, be yourself. Go be with your family, go be with your friends, and have that individuality. It's extremely important. I don't know. They were telling their audience that Tanya's wedding invite got pulled. I don't know if that's true, but it would be interesting. I know it is an attempt to mask it. I don't know. Believing that she can't go alone. She absolutely can go alone, and I bet she would have the greatest time. And it seems like Paige really loves that sister, the sister that's holding the wedding. I think she would have a great time. I think it would show her, there's a life outside of Nate. No, they are on TikTok. Yeah, absolutely. They've tried to do this whole smear campaign against me because I've been posting these videos. And I don't even... The thing is, right, you guys, click on my profile. Look at how many followers I have. I have 3,000. They have over 110,000 followers. Why the hell are they so concerned about a TikTok account with 3,000 followers that's speaking out against them if it wasn't true? They are trying so hard to paint this narrative to get my account shut down because I'm spreading this. All I'm doing is I'm taking screen recordings, screenshots of their live videos, their lives, and things that I've found publicly and showing you guys. And they're saying I'm a hater. I actually wrote down a list of every single thing that they said about me on one live stream, and it was terrible. Hold on. I'm gonna find it for you guys because they tried to say that they're all about spreading love, being nice to people and not spreading hate, right? And yet, okay, wait, is this it? Yes. And yet, here are some of the things that they have said about me. So first off, obviously we know they've said that they're charging me for criminal stalking, right? But they've also tried to tell people that I have a history of mental illness and that they're talking to a family member of mine that has confirmed it. So, and that I was like calling their campgrounds, which is not true. But anyways, besides that, here are a couple of things that they have said about me, okay? That I have a miserable little life, that I don't have a man because no man would ever be able to stand being around me, that I'm a hater. Did I say this? No life. No family that loves me or wants to be around me. He says that I have no job, that I live in mom's basement, that I'm a nobody, that I live a lonely existence, that the best 4 years of my life were in high school. Did I get everything? Let me see. I think that was pretty much everything. The point being, right, they're saying that they're so anti-bullying, and that they don't care about the haters. They don't care about me speaking out against them. And yet, those are things that they're saying in their public live about me. It's interesting. Yeah, and, that is something that she has tried to say that I've discredited her for. I've never said that she didn't have a bad childhood. Obviously, something was wrong for her to get into this situation in the first place, right? I absolutely believe that she had a messy childhood, and it makes it easy for kids to get groomed in a situation when they come from a bad childhood. That's usually how it goes down. I've never said, oh, Paige had a perfect white picket fence, childhood, like she said. Craziness. Let me scroll up. That'd be funny. Tell him you're right, I have a girlfriend. Maybe I should. I don't know if my partner would get offended. There's a lot going on with them. Anyways, okay, thank you. I'm scrolling up just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Gotcha. Okay. No, they don't know me. Well, here's the thing. Well, no, they don't know who I am. They don't know who I am. And I know this because they have told you all that I don't have a job, and they even, keep saying that I collect from the state as if that's, an inherently bad thing. If you guys get money or assistance from the state or from the government, that doesn't mean you're a bad person, or it doesn't mean, you're inherently lazy. I don't know why that's, the weird narrative that they're giving, but I don't collect from the state. It's not a bad thing if you do, but I don't. But they're trying to tell people they know my information, they know my name, my address, they're talking to my family member, but also telling people that I don't have a job and that I collect from the state, which is untrue, and that I have a history of mental illness. So with those things considered, no, I don't think they know who I am. But I posted a story the other day, I think on the 4th of July, where I said, it's not really me they're trying to convince anyways, it's the audience that they're trying to convince, because those things are being used to try to discredit me. And it's also, side note, it's also not a bad thing if you don't have a job, or if you're, I don't know, a mother, or you're disabled, or if you're in, any sort of situation where you're unemployed, you don't have a job, or you collect from the state. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just want to put that out there. Right, but it's how does that discredit me in the first place, being this person doesn't have a job and collects assistance from the state? It's okay, what does that have to do with the videos, though? And again, not saying that's a bad thing. Yeah, exactly, Nikki Marie. I don't know, but that is something that I wrote down, because Josh made a comment the other day being she's sitting around in her house all day, she doesn't go outside, she doesn't have a job, and she collects from the state, and I'm whoa, all of those things are untrue. I try to leave my house at least once a day. I do have a job, but it's remote, so I guess, I don't know. I don't know if they consider that not having a job, but I do have a remote 9-to-5 job, and I don't collect from the state. I don't know. Projecting, maybe. Oh, yeah, Paige said that, too. I just, it's okay, if you want to say that I'm spewing lies, I'm spewing false information, sit down, put the video up, and discredit me, line from line. Don't just be she doesn't have a job, so what she's putting out isn't correct. It doesn't make sense. But whatever. Yeah, they don't leave my apartment. That's absolutely false. Especially in the summertime. I've been booked up every single weekend. I've had baby showers, I've had parties, 4th of July party recently. But whatever. And it does make me worry for people that watch them and that are in that situation, and I hope people don't think badly about themselves if they can't leave the house every day, or they can't hold a job, or they do collect assistance. I don't know. It makes me sick to my stomach to think there's probably people in that situation watching their lives and being oh, damn, I'm a bad person for that, or I'm lazy for that, or I don't know. Anything else? No, that's his well, 8 has 8 kids, and then Josh has 2 kids, but only one lives with them. Yeah, with a 14-year-old. I mean, hey, Trash Panda, like, I don't know. I know your situation. You're usually busy at your house, doing one thing or the other, so that makes sense. But, like, how is that a bad it doesn't... If that's how you want to spend your time, that's okay. That's okay. Yes, 8 different kids. 8 kids, 8 kids. Yeah, it's really projection. They literally stay holed up in that RV. Yeah. And, like, this thing about collecting from the government or the state, I've heard Nate mention this many times over. He has some sort of disdain for people that get assistance or get child support or spousal support. He's mentioned it numerous times. And I do think it's ignorant to, like, think that issue is just a blanket. I don't know how to say it. Like, everybody is in their own unique situation. Everybody's in a different situation. You can't just put blanket statements out there about people in those situations. You know what I mean? Probably because he owes so much. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Duh. So much from where he has 8 kids. Yeah, exactly. That does make sense. But I just don't get the other things. It's so weird. Yeah, making blanket statements. Recently, you guys know, like, that bill that just passed. I know Nate was talking about it. And he had made a comment saying, like, oh, people that are upset about it, it's because they get help from the government and they're getting it taken away. He has some sort of disdain for those types of people. Or people in that situation, I should say. Yeah, so prior to getting with Paige, he impregnated a 14-year-old and had kids with her. If you're wanting to find out information about that, go over to Thinning Out Nonsense. I think the handle is tired_of_nonsense. You're going to have to scroll back to about, like, 2022, but there's information about that over there. Or if you want to check out the Reddit, Nathaniel Page piece. But he also got with Paige when she was 16. I don't know. Chloe, maybe. Who knows with this dude? Who knows? Do you know? Yes, I do know why he went to prison. There's actually a lot of articles about it, but you can look it up because it is all public record. Nathaniel Poulin, Poulin. So he was arrested in 2017, charged 28. He got out in 2018 for multiple counts of theft by deception. So essentially what he did is he pretended to be a landlord and said, I have these apartments I'm going to rent out to people. But he didn't actually own them. It was all fraud. But he took people's money for those apartments, either for a deposit or for the first month of rent or something similar. He did get arrested. Oh, are you saying for the 14-year-old thing? I don't know. There has to be some sort of either loophole if you have a child with that person, or if there's, like, parental consent. There has to be some sort of loophole. Or, which is a question I posed earlier, and maybe somebody who knows Maine law could let me know. If there is a case filed against him involving a minor, is that public information? Would you still be able to find that, even if there's a minor involved, or are those cases sealed? If anyone knows, please let me know. I don't know. But that's something that myself and Adam and Troy and other creators all talked about when we were talking with Tanya. It's like, how did he not get arrested for this? They get sealed. So if I were to, you guys know how I mentioned that website earlier and how I'm looking up his records from 2017. Would it pop up searching for it, or would it not be public record? Like, would I be able to find that the case was a thing, just maybe not the details, if that makes sense? Okay, so it would be up there, just the minor's name would be taken out. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I will double check, but when I was looking through his records on Maine, I did not see anything involved with a minor. I did see his 2017 arrest. I saw charges for substance use, and I saw, like, traffic infractions, things like that. I don't believe I saw a case with a minor. And I'm pretty sure when the 14-year-old thing happened, it was in Maine. But I'll have to double check. The only other place I could think is maybe it was in Arizona. Got it. Okay, got it. All right, let me do some more digging and see if I mislooked or what. It also could be in another state. I guess I just assumed it was in Maine, but me and one other person have been going through the states trying to find if he's been charged with anything else. Also, I failed to mention this. He has a warrant, an open warrant out in Florida right now for his arrest. Nathaniel Pullen. I would have to find out what the town... maybe Adam would know that, what town it happened in or what county it happened in. I'll also have to look myself on Thinning Out Nonsense's page because he had a whole bunch of information about it. Poulin. And his middle name starts with a D. I think it's Daniel, but on the records, it's just Nathaniel D. Pullen. If you guys have any last questions or comments, please leave them in the chat because I just have a couple more minutes. I was actually on for a little bit longer than I would like to have been. There's a lot of lore. The warrant in Florida is so stupid. Hold on. Excuse me. The warrant in Florida is so stupid. He had gotten like a citation or something that he had to pay off. I can't remember what it was for, but it was something dumb, I'm pretty sure. And he had fundraised to get it paid off. I think it was a couple of $100 maybe. And instead of paying it off, he pocketed the money. And then he didn't show up in court for it. And so that's what the warrant's for. It's like the stupidest thing ever. You guys can look it up. If you Google Florida warrant search and then you find it should be the top website that comes up. You're supposed to search first name, last name, Nathaniel Pullen, and you can find it yourselves. It's like the stupidest thing to have a warrant out for. But besides that, he also had a warrant out in Maine until it got recalled and canceled last year because he didn't pay his restitution. Yeah, that was exactly when the hurricane hit. Got it. I've got to scroll up. Parking. Okay, parking in a state park. Got it. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, Nathaniel David Pullen, that should be him. Is that why he hates Florida? Yes. They tried to say that he is in Washington, but I do believe they are still in Oregon. Because that's where I believe they were getting their clothes and reselling them from, was a place in Oregon. Yep, he got money. I know. Oh my God. So this was out of my time. The damaged RV thing and the hurricane thing, that was like right before I started watching them. So I just now got caught up and I watched like, I either watched Adam's channel or I went on their page themselves and I saw it and they were like, we got a bunch of hurricane damage and they raised money for it, but it didn't look that crazy. If I remember right, it was like cosmetic stuff for the most part, and then like their awning was messed up, maybe. He always seems so angry on the lives. It makes me sad for Paige. Yeah, he's constantly asking, like, he definitely puts a pressure in the air. He's constantly asking her, any sales? Did you get any sales? We need to make money. It's a constant hustle for money. And they say that they don't want to work 9-to-5 jobs because it restricts them too much. But then they come on to live and they say, oh, we have to work 14 hours a day and get on TikTok and like we never have time to relax. And it's like, surely the other, having a standard job would balance your work-life balance out way more than that. But it was previous damage. Oh, okay. So funny. I do believe he has a rug issue. Yep. Paige is from Maine, where he's from. Oh, you and Adam know each other. That's cool. But yeah, I agree with you. I think he seems angry on the lives. Yeah, it is. And it's not sustainable because unless you hit it big and you can make brand partnerships and build a business outside of TikTok, like TikTok's not forever. It's going to die out eventually. It's not a stable source of income. Like I do have a 9-to-5, right? And I know when I'm getting paid, I know how much I'm getting paid every paycheck. When I go to work, which, oh my God, it's Sunday. I can't believe the week's about to restart. When I go into work, I know exactly the work I have to do. I know what needs to get done, when it needs to get done by. And, when I close my laptop for the day, that's it. I'm done. I don't, well, sort of, for my job. But you know, for the most part, I am able to have that work-life balance. And they try to demonize that in a way and say that they don't want to work for the man. But then again, they're saying that they barely have time to go out and explore, that they're constantly working. They're working 14 hours a day and things like that. Yeah, and we did ask Tanya about that. And I just recently went through that interview with her, where we asked her about, does he work a bunch? And she was like, oh, honey, no. I think she insinuated, like, as soon as the live stream cuts off, like, he's pretty much not, doing the work in the back thing. Right, 14 hours a day, still not getting orders done and sent. I don't understand it. I do think they sleep the day away. That was, like, another thing that was kind of funny to me because, like, a couple months ago, they'd be like, this person, talking about me, this person has no live. Why are they watching our live streams when they should be out working? And it's like, dude, by the time they get on live stream, I am getting off of work for, like, 9 times out of 10. By the time they are getting on live to do their work, I am getting off work. Like, a lot of times I'll send into work at, like, 5:30 to 6 a.m. just to, because my job is really flexible with, like, the schedule. If I log in early, I can get off early. So a lot of times I'll log in at, like, 5:30 to 6 a.m., get my work done. Or later, and then they'll hop on live when my shift's ending. Right. Anyways, you guys, I need to hop off here real bad. I need to go make dinner. I need to have some time to myself and enjoy my Sunday before we all get thrown back into the work week or, back into the motions. Well, yeah, I don't blame the mom for ranting because they have spun this whole narrative against her about how she's a scammer and shit. So I'm happy that Tanya and Margaret are speaking out. Like, there's such a difference between when Tanya was in that RV to where she is now. She's glowing. Her personality is so in your face, but in a good way. And she's progressed so much just these past couple of weeks than she ever did when she was with Name Page. So I've been happy to see them do those lives, even though unfortunately they do usually have to address the Name Page situation because of that narrative. But it seems like she's doing really well. It's always nice to see them. And they banter so well, too. They're so funny. Anyways, yeah, have a good night, you guys. Happy Sunday or whatever, day it is for you all. Again, check out that master post. It's pinned at the top of the Reddit. 16 pages of evidence and links and screenshots of people missing their orders or just being unsatisfied. It's so important. Go check it out. Pinned up at the Reddit. But other than that, have a good Sunday. Have a good Monday. Good luck to everyone that has to restart their work week. I'm not sure when I'll be live next, but we'll see. All right, good night, you guys.